All righty. Hello, my lovey. Thank you so much for joining me and checking out this convo we're going to have with Annie Meehan, the fantastic pineapple person. Annie, let's just get started before we rock the joy du jour. Tell us about pineapple person. What?
But in 2018, someone called me a pineapple. Then they taught me the pineapple poem: stand up straight, wear a crown, be sweet on the inside. But Melissa, I know we all have a story behind our story. So I took that poem, I made it a principle, then I made it a speech. I wrote a book, I wrote another book, and now I've got a package called P3. Join me in being a pineapple package. So, yes, it's all about kindness and seeing people in a world where we're busy with our own selves.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's an excellent point to launch into our convo, that people are doing their own thing. And no matter how we feel about whatever it is that they're doing, that's on us. They're not doing anything to us or for, about, whatever. They're doing their thing. We're responding to show who we are, and it's all good. So if you want to do, I love the thing about the pineapples being sweet on the inside. That is gorgeous. And you can still be tough. You know?
Oh, yeah. The exterior is pretty tough, right? Of a pineapple. You get a little pokey sometimes.
100%. And yeah, and then you've got, like, it's not just a crown, like that's their solar operating food system, right?
Energy too. Yeah. Yes.
Oh yeah, that's gorgeous on so many levels. I love it. My fellow authoress.
Yes. That's what it really is about, is like, yes, do your own thing, but also pay attention to the people around you and spread kindness. Like we talked about earlier, is like, we want people to be, don't just be so worried about what's in it for me. What can you give? How can you be kind to one another and bring your energy and share it, and your color and your books and all your goldenness and all of the things?
I agree 100%. And the other factor is that when you put the kindness out there, it comes back to you
tenfold.
So because you're priming the pump of your subconscious to look for kindness, because when you're looking for ways to put kindness out there, you're automatically going to know, because that subconscious is just like a big old dumb dog. Not that your dog is dumb, but mine is, and it just wants to bring you whatever it is it thinks you want. So when you're thinking about kindness, when you're thinking about, what you're grateful for and how you can spread, that to other people, it just is a self-reinforcing loop, and it is so empowering.
Yeah. And what you look for, we find, right? And so I always think there's so many negative things we can focus on, but if I just look for something good, I'll find it. If I just create something good, it'll multiply, right? And so exactly what you're saying, what we put out there, we get back. It just so many important things about that and how we show up, because there's always negative stuff to look for, but I'm like, there's got to be good. I think there's good in people. I think there's good in the world. I think we can find it. And if we can't find it, Melissa, we can make it happen, right?
Yes.
We can be it. So that's
100%. Annie, that is the absolute truth, because we create, the reason words matter is because they create matter. They create what our world is. And so the words that we are, marinating in, they absolutely condition us to experience that. And I get it. You and I, we both have had very terrible times. Okay. Puff, puff, give. That doesn't do anything except show that we got through it. Another thing on the survival board, or the experience board, or achievement board, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. I think about, I know sometimes I talk about Taylor Swift, and I don't even really know all her music, but I really know that song, Haters Gonna Hate. And I always think people will always bet against you, but if you use it to fuel to pole vault yourself forward, it's amazing what you can do. And you will go through hard things, and it won't be a straight path, but use it for that disruption. That's fuel. What else can I do? And if we know it, you and I have what we have been through, what we've known, we know someone else has gone through it, and we get to be a light to them and help them as coaches and as speakers and writers get through it, but not just survive it, soar above it, become better because of it, all of those great things that we can do. So
absolutely. I adore it. I adore your energy. I love that you are sharing the positivity, and not in that, toxic positivity way where there's no room for the negative. Negatives happen. Yes, I see you, negative. All right, that's cool. I'm going to have my feels about it. And now, all right, what am I going to do? Because once we get closer to the problem or the obstacle, that's when the path forward, through, around, and it can be like a crumpled up ball. Like, it doesn't have to look like a path. It's like the path to success starts here, and then it's like a big wad of string, and then it comes out over here.
Yes, exactly. I love that.
So the path isn't necessarily clear or easy or even makes sense. Hi, Leo. But that is what we get to see when we get closer, when we allow ourselves to continue to approach and move forward. And I
Yeah.
think that's really important. And that's the drum I like to beat so that people can hear that. Like, yeah, things can be terrible.
Yeah.
And you can take a breath, straighten that pineapple crown.
And I love you said feel the feels. One thing I never want to brush over with people is life is really, in fact, I was thinking this morning, I feel like we're all kind of in a battle. And are we winning the battle or losing the battle or exhausted by the battle? But there's always something coming at us. And I always want to honor and recognize that people are going through really hard things in life in many different ways. And to never say, move on, let's keep going, be positive. Because I think it's okay to sit in the sadness sometimes. And sometimes we have to breathe and to get regrounded, and nobody else gets to decide what the timeline of healing or of moving forward is from a job loss or diagnosis or the death of someone we love or a bankruptcy at work or our own company. And so I do 100% acknowledge that people are hurting. I also do know sometimes people get so stuck in it that they forget, they get so tunnel vision that they lose sight of all these beautiful things. And for me, I always feel like it's a miracle I got up today, because there's a lot of reasons I shouldn't, but here I am. What can I do good for myself? How can I project it? But also, who can I help on their journey? Like we both get to do. I love that. It's so important to not walk alone in the hard things we go through in life.
100%. And the science is proving more and more that connection and relationship, that's the antidote to just about everything from, addiction recovery to mental health, and the loneliness epidemic that was announced by the CDC earlier this summer. That's really important for us to be aware of so that we give ourselves the medicine. I always say that I have many prescriptions. I have the ones from my psychiatrist, and I have a movement prescription and an outside prescription. And I have to fulfill these every single day, just in order to live in a happy manner and to have my energy and to have my joyousness. Then that's what propels me, because when we work with people, because I know that you're just an amazing speaker, and you also work with clients. I mostly work with clients and am branching into speaking. And when you're working with people who are feeling the feels and are in the midst of the tumult and know that they can do better and can't figure out how,
Yeah.
well, I get to bring my joy to the table and remind them that if I can get through divorce, Hurricane Katrina, losing every single thing, another divorce, realizing that I'm the source of the chaos, going through a bankruptcy because of the second divorce, and then like getting canned from work, starting this business and thriving, like, okay.
Okay, right? I think that too, part of what I teach on is what's in your medicine cabinet. And so I always ask people, what's in your medicine cabinet? And it might be Diet Coke and it might be antidepressants, but for me, it is movement, it is music, it is laughter every day. And mostly I'm laughing at myself. Like people are like, how do you get it all right? I'm like, I never do. I get most of it wrong, but I just keep going. Like, and once I was just talking to my son about being teased. And I was sitting with a group of women and they were talking about junior high and high school and being teased. And I'm a talker, I'm a talker. I had nothing to say. I just sat there real quiet. And then finally, one of the women's like, why are you not commenting? And they were talking about how it affected them to be teased. And I said, honestly, ladies, I hate to say this, I've never been teased. And they all start laughing. And they're like, are you kidding us? Do you know that people harass you all the time? They make fun of you. I go, I think I'm oblivious, but I love it. I just go through, people are teasing me. People are thinking I'm a weirdo. And I'm just like, I think everybody likes me. I think the whole world's happy. I mean, maybe people say rose colored glasses, but what I think is like when you have been through so many hard things, like you just listed about your own life and many things about more for me, my upbringing, and I guess many things since, but a lot about my upbringing, I realized I was sad for 20 years. I didn't want to be like other people. I wanted to be anyone but myself the first 20 years of my life. And when I realized I'm not that bad, I'm kind of goofy. I think I'm a 6 foot tall supermodel. I'm more like a fun size, like squishy bar. I don't care. Like, I'm just like happy. Like, I'm like, I have a choice. I'm here. I've buried a brother. I've buried a sister. We've gone through a lot, but I'm still standing. And not only are we standing, Melissa, you and I, what I think the greatest joy in my life, when you use the word joy, is that I get to give back to other people that are
Oh
struggling.
my gosh.
And
Yes.
that is the full circle for me. Is I thought I had to hold on to everything as tight as I could. And now it's like, not only do I have enough to share and to teach and to take the wounds, to take the pain and use that passion behind it and use it as my purpose to serve other people. And I think that's, Melissa, why you have so much joy is you go, okay, that happened and that happened. And then that happened. And then I thought I was moving and then that. And so what? So here I am,
Yeah.
right? Still showing up, still spreading joy, still giving back to people that are in the midst of their pain. And it doesn't mean you and I don't still have pain or will have pain. It
Of
just
course
means we continue to choose to be joyful and positive and pineapple-y and purposeful and all the good things, right? And
not.
we wear color. We wear color.
Yes, yes. And I love what you said about embracing your, fun-loving, goofy, whatever self you are, and everyone's different. And I know like you and I are very exuberant personalities, and there's a lot going on there. And even with people who are more, you want to call them serene or reserved or even cute,
Calm.
whatever. But enough about my partner. Yin
Same.
yin yang, right? Yin yang. We still get to share the message that you are perfectly made.
Mm.
Everything you're feeling is perfect. Now, the disconnect can occur when we get overwhelmed with the feelings because we also get to recognize the feeling, feel the feeling, and decide how we're going to respond to the situation.
Yeah.
And I love the quote from Wayne Dyer that I'm going to butcher it, I'm sure, but paraphrasing is that what other people, how they behave toward you, that's nothing. That's
None
nothing
of
about
your business,
you.
right?
But how you behave in the world, that's your calling card. And that's what says who you are. And so what if somebody's talking smack about you or, bullying you or, making fun of your laugh or the way you move or what you're wearing? Like, okay, yeah, I'm a big old goofball. Holla.
Exactly, exactly. I love something you said, Melissa, that it's hard for people to hear, but you acknowledge it yourself, and it's a beautiful thing. And when our life is in a cycle of chaos, always, and we want to blame everyone from our boss to our partner to our neighbors to our house, that when we step back and breathe in, what is my role? I think there's a level of enormous growth that is possible when we look at ourselves. And that's part of the healing. And that's part, as a coach for both of us, I'm sure when I have clients come to me and tell me everything that's happened to them, I always am like, I'm just curious, what was your role? And sometimes it throws people back because they don't like to look at it, but we can't grow if we don't look at our own messy part in it. I'm not saying messy people, we're messy, we're complicated, all those beautiful things, but I love that you acknowledge that. I think it's really beautiful because I think that's where you go, oh, maybe I could change a few things to be
Right.
healthier and more successful and whatever. I want to celebrate that with you because I think it's a hard thing for sometimes our listeners and for friends to hear or clients to hear that what's your role? And it's not all you, and I'm not blaming, but sometimes I meet people and they'll give me a list of 10 people in their life that are narcissists. And then I'm like, okay, let's not worry about them. I'm actually not working with them. Let's worry about what can we change, right?
100%. And I also adore the idea that when we recognize, whether it's because we're seeking that chaotic feeling, because that feels like home, okay, let's trace that back. I grew up in an abusive household. It was very complicated. People thought we were a model family, and it was terrible. And that's where I'm putting my blueprint for living together. Because we've got our blueprint set in our subconscious by the time we're freaking 10.
That's right.
Like I didn't understand what the heck was going on. I didn't do the sadness part. I was enraged.
Okay.
So that's how I spent a couple of decades, just so furious and angry. And okay.
You never really learn to be angry. I sometimes want to be angry, but I go to tears. Like people make me mad, but then I start crying. And they're like, I thought you were mad. I'm like, this is me mad. I don't know how to yell. I don't know how to be angry, but I know how to be sad because anger equals violence. Right. So when you grow up in the secrets of the hidden home, yeah, beautiful. But look at how far we've come. Now we get joy and laughter at ourselves and at other people and with other people. It's the best, right? So I'm proud of you. Like, it's amazing how far you've come and what we do with it. And I love that you say, I'm married to Mr. Stable Spreadsheet. I love him. He's a lovely man. I'm not making fun of him, but it's kind of true. But he's like, your family, he was talking about my siblings. He's like, you guys are all attracted to chaos and like pot stirring and like, did you hear this? And you catastrophize things. And I was like, oh, I didn't even, because it becomes comfortable, familiar,
100%.
right?
And people talk a lot about how you regress when you go see your parents as an adult, but what doesn't get as much press is how you regress when you're around your siblings as an adult, because those dynamics fly fast and furious. And the next thing you know, like whether you're the caretaker or the pot stirrer or, like whatever that childhood role was, and then the other person, for me, it's caretaking. I'm the second of 9 kids. And so, my sister will be like, do you think I cannot make dinner? I was like, I was just trying to help. She's like, I got it. And I'm roaring laughing because because when she was 7, she couldn't, and I was making her, but like, just because she's a grown woman with a kid of her own, like, yeah, you can let that go. But it does take some time to get used to being alert and being aware.
And
Definitely.
calling it out. No wonder we get along so well. So I am the middle, raised with 7, then there was 8, now there is 6, but big families and big dynamics and 7 kids in 8 years and everybody caring for each other and having to take care. And for me, my role was run away and hide, get out of the house and make lots of friends because the dynamics were loud and chaotic and I didn't like that noise. So escape, right? But there's the caretaker, there's the addicts, there's the I think I'm in charge of everybody's that there's all the things, right? And when you have so many siblings and when you're one after the other, you are kind of raising yourself and taking care of each other and having a title and having to step back. So that's a great, I don't think we do talk about enough, like definitely regressing with parents, but with siblings and how you go back into these roles. And one of my children was telling me, you let your siblings be really mean to you and you don't let anybody be mean to you. And I'm like, I think I'm just, when I get around them, I'm supposed to play small and just like, and I have had to learn, own, step into your own, you have value and all those things. So that's a really great, I bet we have listeners thinking about their siblings right now, like, oh, what do I do when I go be around them? It is interesting. Are all your siblings still living, Melissa?
They are.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is pretty darn amazing considering the mental health challenges and the addiction challenges. Yeah, it is wild.
It's amazing. It's amazing, amazing. Well, it's Tuesday. I love Tuesday testimonials. Who's somebody you like love? I want to hear. I know this is your show, but I'm just thinking about it's Tuesday testimonial. I didn't post one today. Maybe you have somebody you want to do a shout out like that's been amazing in your life or anything.
I have 2 ladies that I would love to give a shout out to, Jennifer Arezzo and Erin Saxton. They are amazing women, absolute leaders, gems, in love with themselves in a way that shows me how to move through the world as a woman.
That's what I like. I didn't have a lot of, I probably had more male role models in some weird way than women, but when you get those strong women that not only believe in you, but celebrate you and aren't threatened by you, like I look at Bobby Carlton and I just think what she does for women and her voice for all of us and just speak up and get more of us on stages, get more of us paid well as doing the good work we do. I love that. I always refer people to her because I just think she's so kind and generous.
Yes.
Right? Amazing.
Yes.
So really cool.
I'm new to her fold and I'm delighted to be in
it. It's beautiful. Yeah. And she's so wise and connected and straightforward. I always appreciate that. Like, don't blow smoke at me ever. I will figure out the smoke anyway. Just tell me as it is and tell me what I'm doing wrong or tell me what I'm doing right and let me grow. I always want to grow. I always like, how can I get better? How can I develop? So I love that about her.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Annie Meehan, our pineapple person, and also check her out with her H3 TV show. It's amazing.
Sounds good. Thanks so much for having me. Great to be here. And hello to all your friends and connections.
Cheers.
Take care. Bye-bye.